This is an Evergreen Media Network studio production.
Come on, you know the words. Welcome back to Classic Car Radio. I'm Keith McDonald here with Mike Carano, Steve Charbonneau, and Todd Byron.
Sir Mix-a-Lot over there.
Sir Mix-a-Lot, yeah. Anyway, let's, we got a little more news and we got to jump into Tech Talk. Guess what? I have no history this week.
Nice.
No history.
Nothing happened.
That's going down in history.
You know what's strange is that I have a file of every week of the year.
Uh-huh.
But between December, between Christmas and New Year, nothing really happened.
Everybody just hangs.
Except one or two that I noticed, but I'm like, they're not even worth talking about.
Right.
Michael Moore releases Roger and Me.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah,
Who's that?
who cares, right?
That's the
Michael Moore.
Oh,
he's like-
Meathead.
Meathead.
Yeah.
No, that's Meathead's Rob Reiner.
Oh.
Michael Moore.
But it's close.
The big
He's
one.
just as big of a meathead as Rob Reiner.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Michael Moore did Fahrenheit 9/11, and he did all those. He said that's his liberal movies.
Yeah, it's all liberal
We can
stuff.
say that on Patriot Radio, even though AACA hates us. All right.
They don't hate us. Come on. They're all nice.
You, man.
Just you. They're all nice
They
guys
hate
over
me
there.
because I told them.
Yeah.
That's okay.
All right, so what do you
That's all
get?
right.
I
They
like
love
it
me
if they
because
hate
I'm a
me.
lovable guy.
Right.
that's right.
Yeah, you're real lovable, all right.
Yeah, wear your FJB hat to in the next meeting and see how they like you then. I can't believe it. Okay.
Don't even go there.
All right. I have
Sounds like a
to,
challenge.
someone's going to want to know what I'm talking about, but
Yeah.
I guess we'll just pass on that.
Yeah.
Just say we were thwarted by some liberal people on our show. Anyway, let's do. Okay, so one of the things on the drive.com was, what is a rebuilt title? Have you guys ever done a rebuild title?
Yep.
Or a rebuilt
Yeah.
title?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
You have to take a car and complete.
Why?
What?
Why?
Why?
I mean, it'd have to be worth a lot of money in order
Yeah.
to do it. Yeah. Your
Well,
average car is not worth doing it.
Right. I mean,
Right.
years ago, when I ran a junkyard years ago, it was a lot easier
Yeah.
to get the title, because the first Corvette I had, that was it was a tagged car. So
Oh,
they
really?
popped the VIN. It was a stolen recovery. They popped the VIN, and then I had to go to New York State, and they put the state VIN on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it came, it comes back that it was, your title was salvaged. But
Right.
once you get the state tag and they inspect it and make sure everything's legit, they hand you a title. I mean, that was years ago. I don't know how hard it is now.
In Florida, it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Well, I know.
I'll tell you what.
I know in
Did you
Florida.
know?
For
Yeah.
a while there in Florida, because Tom Gore was buying cars all over the place, he'd have to make an appointment,
Right.
bring it
Yep.
down to West Palm,
Right.
have him
Exactly.
inspect the car,
Yes.
because they just
Yeah.
changed, and then they just changed it back now. They could do everything local now, so it's
Oh,
not
really?
too,
Yeah, the out-of-state titles was getting ridiculous.
Yeah, out-of-state titles was ridiculous. If you had an out-of-state
Yeah,
title, it
yeah.
was crazy.
A friend of mine took a Indian motorcycle that he rebuilt from basically salvage.
Right.
Rebuilt the whole thing, beautiful. Had to tow it down. He wanted me to go with him. I went with him. We went all the way down to West Palm to get it inspected. He had an appointment and everything. And for some reason, we ended up driving all the way back with no title.
Right.
And then we had to go back again a second time. Well, he did. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. We sat outside in the heat. It was so miserable inside. We sat outside for like 4 hours before
Yeah.
they actually came out to look at that Indian. And it's ridiculous. But now you say it's local inspection?
Yeah, I think the last car Tom got out of state, he did everything local. So
Oh,
it
that's
wasn't too
good.
bad.
That's good.
The rebuilt titles, they still got to take to the West Palm office.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, because it has to be inspected by a certain inspector.
So a salvaged title, titles are usually not good for parts, but not for sale. But you can take a salvage and you can
Change it over.
rebuild it.
Yeah,
And then,
but that has to be inspected.
Yeah.
so if a car gets flooded, you don't see a lot of damage to a lot of it. I mean, you probably got to do the interior.
Well, since we had the big hurricane, they changed a lot of that. They're more stricter on certain flood cars. If it was a complete flood, like where the car is almost fully submerged,
Yeah,
it is not even rebuildable now.
really.
Yeah, it is deemed, unrepairable.
Unrepairable.
Now, if
What
it's like
about if a guy dunks a 1970 Chevelle SS into the ocean by mistake? You know,
Not a computerized car. You can probably get away with it.
yeah.
I just watched someone the other day that's on one of our groups bought a 2023 Dark Horse Mustang with less than 1,700 miles on it. And it said it was a flood. The guy got in, started it up, drove it home.
Yeah.
The guy's
Oh,
like,
really?
oh, it reeked inside. And the guy was like, but he drove it home.
I think down here they're still having a problem with the lost titles. If you don't have a title for a car, it's still a pain in the neck to
Oh,
get it
yeah,
back.
yeah.
Where in New York it was a little bit easier to
Really?
get. Yeah,
Okay.
if you didn't have a title for a car, because you remember the old cars just had the registration was part 1 and part 2. The part 2 year registration in New York was the title of your car.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
After 10 years or older, you don't need
Yeah.
a title up north. Down
Yeah,
here,
you
you do.
Right. So now I think they changed it a little bit. It's still a little tough to get a untitled car
Mhm.
titled in Florida.
Right.
So
You know, you see a lot of those on Facebook Marketplace, and you see a lot of those on Craigslist, too.
yeah,
They say we don't have the title. They're probably salvaged,
yeah.
you know, rebuilt.
Yeah, because the last time I got one, what I did is I got it here. I sent the title, I sent the registration I had to my buddy in New York. My buddy in New York got the title up there, then signed the title over to me for here, and that's how we got the.
What car was it you had that you really had a lot of trouble? Was that
It
the
wa-
one with a baseball player on it or something? Or
Yeah. Supposedly
Babe
Babe
Ruth.
Ruth owned the car. It was a '41 Pontiac.
Couldn't be traced, though?
Couldn't be
You could
tra-
never trace
I
it?
traced it as far back as I could through New York State,
Yeah,
and all I could do is read the articles that Babe Ruth did have a '41 Pontiac.
okay.
And that the myth was that, yeah, he did own this car, but I didn't have any proof that he owned the car.
Right, okay.
So,
That's a shame,
that's
huh?
the second Pontiac I own.
Right, yeah. So you can't, you're in my boat now, pal. You're in my club.
Nah, that ain't happening.
Yeah, no, you are. Yeah, you're
So
kind
it
of
didn't turn
you're a
out well
mixed
with that
breed.
car then.
No, we ended up selling it. Some guy came, picked it up, and
Really?
just got rid of it. Yeah, it was just too much work.
Yeah, there's actually a Facebook group page that
The
says
black cloud of Pontiac.
Black Crowd Pontiac.
no
Yeah.
titles or salvage cars.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's all I sell. There's a Facebook page on there. It's got a group. It says
No,
salvage car, no title cars.
really. Wow.
Yeah, if they made it easier in Florida, it'd be a lot easier to do it, but you can't do it.
There's got to be a way they could just, if it's salvageable and it's inspected, right?
Well, that's different. Salvaged is different than not having a title at all. That's the problem.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, because you have a salvage title. It's just
But
stamped salvage.
if it's got a VID or VIN, then why can't you apply for title again?
Yeah, I don't
on
know
a
how
car
Florida
that
just
you've
does it.
rebuilt or
Florida just
something.
does it different. I
Because it's
don't
recorded.
salvage
Yeah.
or
Yeah, and it's,
Destroyed.
you got
I
salvage.
I guess it's hard to prove if the car is stolen. Maybe I don't know what the deal
Well,
is.
salvage will come back once you get it fixed. It's reconstructed.
Right.
yeah.
okay.
But yeah, it's still it's kind of crazy with all that stuff.
And anymore, it's really not worth it.
Right.
You know, back in the day, like
Yeah.
when you were talking, especially if you had like a salvage yard, because your access to
Everything.
all these parts,
Yep.
you know,
Right. Yep.
and the ability to be able to do that. You
Yeah.
know. But for the average person to try to go and do it, or
I know.
But if you dragged a 71 Camaro or RS out of a barn and it was completely wiped out, I mean, you could just rebuild it, couldn't you? And
yeah, what you do is you go to like the Turkey Rod Run. There used to be a guy there
Right.
with all these titles,
Yeah.
good titles.
Really?
Yeah. And then hey, do you have one for this car? And and he has all the info. And you just take it and use
Really?
that. Yeah.
wow.
some of the stuff's a joke though, because I know you've seen it. You get some reconstructed title cars that come in. There's no airbags. It's like, how does
Yeah.
this pass inspection?
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Wow.
Yeah.
we've seen cars come in, no airbags. We seen one, the frame was completely cracked. They put a plate of metal in it, grind it down, and welded it and painted over it.
Wow.
That wouldn't pass inspection. So it's like, who do you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Some of the bad junkyards up north, they would pop the VINs, and then they would sell you the title with the VIN,
Right.
and
Yeah.
then you
Oh,
just
yeah.
get a car that matched it, and then put the
Put
old
the VIN back in.
back on the
Put
car.
the old
yeah.
VIN.
Yeah, it's kind of like the guy. I remember. I don't know if they still do it anymore, but this guy he had these files full of titles, man, of all kinds of cars.
Yeah.
You just ask him what you want. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
Isn't that against the law?
When I was at the Turkey Rod Run, they did have a guy that was
Yeah.
doing that with the titles. This
I thought it
last
was
time.
against the law,
But
but
your
apparently it's not.
VIN's not going to match, though, right? Or you have to get a VIN made up.
Well,
right?
you can do VIN tags.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because you're going to read.
Yeah,
when
we
I,
do a VIN
when I brought
tag
the
for it,
orange
just
truck
so you
down
know.
there, they matched the VIN with the VIN tag and then the VIN number on the frame.
Yeah, then you have to have
Oh, yeah.
a deputy come out and verify that VIN number is on the tag and it matches the title of the car.
Right.
You know, because I've had that done. As a matter of fact, that 46 Chevy truck I did, that I ended up buying, we put a new VIN tag on it and we re-stamped it and everything, you know, because it got VIN tag stamps.
Yeah.
And we re-stamped it and everything, put it on, but I had to have a deputy come out to verify it and sign it off before I could proceed farther with it.
Okay. But General Motors has hidden VIN on the chassis and stuff, as you mentioned, right?
Yeah, they have some hidden spots.
And do they go after those? Do they go looking at those
when you
on
go
an
to,
inspection?
I guess when you go to West Palm, they might.
They might when you go there.
Yeah.
We were at Moroso when I was younger one day, and we gutted a brand new Mustang that we bought. It was a salvage title, made it a drag car. But when we pulled the dash out, we caught the corner of the VIN tag and bent it back.
Mm-hmm.
They pulled us out of the no time line and went through the whole car, matched up all the VIN numbers, had to get all the paperwork, wrecked our whole night of racing, didn't even get one pass in.
Right.
Wow, that's terrible.
So they got it was like 10 or 12 cars that night there that were stolen cars at the racetrack.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Crazy.
Well, why don't we hit the break? We have a guy that wrote, John from Grant wrote in last week, and we didn't get to him. So we're going to get to him and give him his answer, and then we'll do some tech talk. When we come back, we're Classic Car Radio. Don't go away.
Offering 24/7 emergency services, Joe Scazzari Roof Services Consulting offers prompt handling of homeowners' insurance claims and has been serving the Treasure Coast for over 40 years. Scazzari's roofing experts can fabricate and install standing seam metal roofs on site, saving you thousands of dollars. And for those do-it-yourselfers, they can cut and fabricate your metal roof and deliver it right to your home or job site. Got a flat roof? Scazzari Roofing and Consulting specializes in all commercial and residential flat roofing systems. State certified and licensed, Scazzari Roofing and Consulting is family-owned and operated. Check out their website at roofservicesconsulting.com or give them a call at 772-388-7453 or toll free at 888-675-8106. Happy holidays from Scazzari Roofing and Consulting Contractors.
Have you ever wanted your carpets or area rugs cleaned, but you just didn't want to deal with the noise, the wet carpet, and that long dry time? And what happens to all that wet stuff underneath the carpet? Ew! Well, Heaven's Best Carpet Cleaning solves all that with their guaranteed 1-hour dry time. Their low moisture process dries fast, smells great, and it's safe for your kids and pets too. And guess what? They also clean sofas, love seats, chairs, and recliners. Heaven's Best serves all of Indian River County and Barefoot Bay. They're bonded and insured, and your results are guaranteed. Don't put it off any longer. Grab your phone and call Keith at Heaven's Best, 772-643-6999. You'll be thrilled with the results. 772-643-6999.
Sure, they were born in Jersey, but they were made in America. An attitude and a sound like no other. Jersey Boys is the international musical phenomenon that takes you behind the scenes and behind the music of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons.
I'll go on living and keep on forgiving because...
Who knew four guys from New Jersey would turn the world upside down with a unique sound that nobody had heard, but radio couldn't get enough of? Over 10 years on Broadway, winner of 4 Tony Awards with worldwide performances. It's the award-winning musical of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, featuring over 15 of their certified gold songs, and you know them all. Jersey Boys opens January 2nd at Vero's magnificent Riverside Theater. But you don't have to wait. Get your best tickets now at the box office or riversidetheater.com.
Welcome back to Classic Car Radio. Hey, if you're driving up I-95, please tell everybody that you heard a great car show when you were cruising through Vero Beach.
Right,
Shot,
right.
quit it. Yeah, we could all play that game.
Enough
I just gotta make some noise.
Enough of that stuff. Yeah.
It's water bottles now. So anyway, if you're cruising up or down I-95 and you catch the show on Saturdays at 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock on WAXE, the Patriot Radio, please tell your friends about it and tell them what we stream on Wednesday nights. We stream the same show Wednesday nights on YouTube under Evergreen Media Network.
Yep. And it's 107.9, right, Jeff?
107.9 on the radio. And
Okay.
yeah. So Evergreen, put Evergreen up there, Jesse, on YouTube or whatever. Whatever. They can't see it on the radio.
There you go. There's our website.
Let's get to John and Grant because we blew them off last week like a bunch of jerks we are. Anyway,
for yourself, buddy.
Right.
John, we were busy. John, we had John Kramer on, you know. John's looking for advice purchasing inside. He didn't write the door panels for his 68 Buick GS 400 convertible. I know there are a few companies out there producing them. Which is the best quality? I have a black interior, thank you. So he wants the door panels for the interior, not a door skin, of course. So
I just bought them for the Mustang. I just put them on today. That's what I'm doing.
really, where'd you get those?
National Parts Depot.
Did you?
I think it's like
check
an
NPD.
AP something or something. I can't remember honestly, but they're really nice. They're really nice pants.
APD? No,
I can't
NPD.
remember.
National
NPD.
Parts Depot.
Well, National Parts Depot, who I bought them from.
Right.
They're not National Parts Depot brand.
Right.
Right.
You know, they come from,
yeah.
and honestly, I don't remember the brand. When I pulled them out of the box, I looked at them and said, "Hey, they're actually the quality
Really
of them
nice.
is pretty good." You know?
Anyway, I tried to find it for you, John, and I know you have Google, but I'm not making fun of you. I'm just being a wise ass today, I guess. But legendary autointeriors.com. That's the message. That's the best I found.
Yeah, I think most
But
of,
NPD will have them.
I think most of the parts places they use Legendary interiors anyway.
Yeah. Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a 68 Buick GS, it's basically the same door frame structure as like a
Chevelle. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a pretty common door panel.
Yeah, sure it is.
You know, different stamp pattern in it.
Oh yeah. But you want to he wants authentic, I'm sure.
Right.
He doesn't want to have a Chevelle or a Le Mans one in there.
It might be worth
Well,
more money
I'm
with
sure
a
they
Chevelle in
probably
there.
do it. I mean, Buick, the Buick's a little bit more rare. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
It wasn't produced.
I'm
like
sure
this.
I'm sure they make them.
Yeah.
All right, Joe in Fort Pierce asks Todd or anybody. He says Todd or anybody.
Yeah.
This may seem like a dumb question, but maybe not. I'm going to paint my 67 Mustang myself. It's my first attempt ever. Do I sand the base coat at all before applying clear coat? And do you have any tips for a perfect finish? Steve, you can do this too.
Well, what do you think?
Sand the base coat.
Yeah, I wouldn't sand the base coat.
No.
Yeah. No, sand the car before you put your base coat on.
And then once the base coat's on, what do you do?
Put a good couple coats of clear
Yeah.
and make sure you put enough clear in it. Don't dry spray it. And if you're going to wet sand and buff it, make sure you get at least good 3 coats of clear on it.
Okay.
There you go.
Perfect.
How many coats of base though? Would you
As
do
many as it
several?
takes to get it to cover.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, really?
But just enough
you
to make
keep
it cover.
spraying until you think it's covered enough.
Right.
Yeah, certain colors will cover in 2.
Yeah.
Certain colors, like some of your metallics, you got to go 3 because you know if you don't cover enough, you get the shadow.
Right.
And then there's just a couple colors. Like there's one Hyundai Pearl color, the black pearl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the
might put
super
8
thin
coats
light
on.
coats, and yeah.
Oh, you don't like that color, huh?
Oh, it's the hardest color to spray.
It really comes down to what you put down as a ground coat. You know, a lot of times, you know, I was telling Steve, you know, I'm not a big fan of sealers, but sealers do 2 things. It cuts down your coats of color, putting it on because you can put the proper shade of sealer down.
Right.
So basically, your shades go from almost white to almost black.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And when you're mixing your color, when you buy that color, it'll tell you, you know, which one you want to go with. So you put that down, you're going to put less coats than what you would if you don't seal it.
Right. Yeah.
And sealer also holds down, you know, bad body work. But if the body work's good, then there's really no need for sealer.
Right. Okay.
Yep. And certain paint, like he said, you know, the coverage is where it's at. Certain paint just does not cover.
No.
Yeah.
Now, is that like the water paint?
So
Or
you
what
pay
doesn't
all
matter?
that
Doesn't matter?
money, and sometimes it doesn't cover. It's very expensive now, the base coat, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we've had a couple cars, the T-Bird, the the color covered decently, but then the other car, when I painted the 57, that color covered easier and way smoother and a lot less.
Okay.
Yeah, some colors cover really good, depending on the pigments that's in it, the color pigments in it.
Okay. There you go, guys. There you go, Joe in Fort Pierce.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Andy also in Fort
Take your
Pierce.
time, it's all in a prep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Andy in Fort Pierce says, my 67 Darts vinyl roof has several small blisters, center, front, and back, near the glass moldings. I can pull the old roof off and make repairs to the metal, and I'll have the roof painted black. I also replaced the headliner. I have to replace it. I know the interior will have to be gutted. This is very wordy here.
Yeah.
Is it tough at reinstalling fabric in an older Dart? Any issues working around the front and rear glass while reinstalling a headliner? So I'm not even going to get to the next question.
Glue off?
When do you get the old glue? A heat gun, maybe?
Huh?
Get the old glue off a vinyl roof with Dart.
From the vinyl roof?
Yeah.
Take the vinyl roof off and the glue's on the roof still. How do you get that off?
Break out the DA.
Yeah.
Sand it off.
Sand it off. Okay.
And I've seen cars. I take the cars when the guys paint the hoods instead of the top instead of vinyl. It looks just as good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw a guy also when he instead of doing a headline of fabric, they did it in the fake leather. The
Oh,
vinyl.
yeah.
They put vinyl up on the headliner, and actually looked pretty good too.
So these cars were only primed, and then the vinyl top was installed. So no paint to seal moisture out. Any car that was not restored will need both front and rear glass removed, along with the top, and everything cleaned up, primed, and painted before you put your headliner or anything else on there, I guess they say.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mike, we only got a couple minutes. You want to do any more car show report instead of getting Dave and Grant? We'll have to wait.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Again, we're really pushing Todd's New Year rod run Monday, January 1st.
Right.
Meet at the Vero Outlets at 7 a.m. Have breakfast at Cracker Barrel right up there at 95 and 60. Leaving at 10. The first stop will be Riverview Park, US 1 and Sebastian. Second stop, Riverside Theater parking lot. And the third stop will be the House of Byron.
Right.
For a big barbecue.
Okay.
All right. And then we got the Wildwood Antique Mall is having a car show January 14th. And that's right over here, right?
Yeah.
The Antique Mall right on US 1?
Isn't that where
US 1 also there.
Isn't that the same place where Billy DeArton has his Saturday night show?
Yep.
That's the same mall,
I think
right?
is it the same mall or across the
Vero
street?
Square.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's January 14th. Setup starts at 8 a.m. Show starts from 9 to 3. It goes from 9 to 3. Rain or shine parking lot. And a covered walkway. Pre-reg is $10. And that's again on Sunday, January 14th. We still got time?
Yeah.
We got another minute or so?
Got another minute. Yep.
Barefoot by the Lake
Big
car
one.
show.
It's a fun one.
2024, January 21st, 625 Barefoot Boulevard. From 11 to 3. That's over in Barefoot Bay up just north of...
It's in Mico.
Mico. It's in Mico.
It is in Mico, yeah.
Okay. Hey, any problems, just you could contact them at 772-663-0633 for the Barefoot by the Lake car show.
That's a fun
Come
one.
barefoot.
Yeah, and then we're pushing the Meekum, January 2nd to the 14th.
Right. Let me
Yeah.
read off some times real quick for you because they're coming up Friday, January 5th from noon to 6 p.m. They'll be live with John Kramen, of course, and the rest of the Meekum gang. Saturday, they'll be on from noon to 6 again, and then they'll do at 6 o'clock, they'll do the Meekum Top 10. And then January 10th, when Mike's there, they're going to be on live from
12 to 6.
12 to 6. And then on the very next day, on Thursday, the 11th, same thing, 12 to 6. And Motor Trend usually reruns them again. So if you missed it, you can. It's probably going to be on
It's
TV
all day.
again.
I'm
the
sure
same
Friday
day,
and Saturday they're going to be on too.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, thanks very much for listening. We are Classic Car Radio Vero Beach, and we are out of here.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Peace out.